my co-author from Denmark, Dr. Anne and Dr. Rene from Aarhus University, Dr. Schwak and Dr. Rauf from Wittenberg University in Netherlands, and then one professor from Pakistan, Dr. Ghulam Shabir, he's sitting right there. So from FC College University, he's a leading co-author in one empirical paper, which we have this big project. So I will present the idea first, and then a little results what we have so far. So it's not a complete work, but it's the initial work what we have done. And plus we have some case study from. Okay, that's the idea, green path towards sustainability through innovation with environmental benefits. So how can we get benefit from innovation? And when we talk about benefit, these are particular benefit related to environment. So as innovation, we all know that it has a very beneficial impact on the economy in the long-term process. But there are some short-term pit and falls, up and down, and that we are going to discuss in our empirical paper, right? So the outline of this project is just, first we did some aggregate level analysis, that's global level and EU level, that's the empirical paper, small part where Dr. Shabir is also co-author. And we have this disaggregated level where sustainability as a metric for financial performance, where we have compared this ESG versus scope. So these are two measures of sustainability under the EU protocol. So ESG score that determine how much we have such a sustainability level, and particularly linked with SMEs, small and medium enterprises. And then we have sustainability and innovation in Nordic SMEs. That's particularly linked with Scandinavian 3 countries, Denmark, Sweden, Norway. So that's the work is still in progress. So we are collecting the data, and this figure is just AI generated figure, and the source is there from Copilot. That's why it's a path, and path is towards sustainability. It's not a short-term path, it's a long-term path. So it takes time to reach there. It's not a one-shot game. So it's a process. So there are some patterns. We have to be resilient in order to face some challenges over the time. That's what we focus on this project. And then we have this case study, just an overview of Danish economy. I will present what they are going to toward this innovation and sustainability, and particularly with environment things. So here is the pattern that's, as I said, that it's not a short term but long term, and it integrates all aspects of this ESG, environment, social governance, so that it integrates. So sustainability is a long-term process. So technological innovation is one of the important pillars that is a path towards, again, sustainability. And how can we achieve favorable or desirable outcome from innovation that leads towards, again, sustainability? So both TI, technological innovation, and environment are aligned with sustainable development goals, again, that are very aligned with sustainability and SDG goals defined by World Bank. Okay, that's our conceptual framework. This is just our model for a big project. So we are focusing on these 3 key indicators, and that's a triangle, but these are interlinked in a broader perspective, as we have seen that technological innovation, sustainable development goals number 9, and then environment sustainable goals 7 and 13, they affect each other. They are interlinked, and that is toward sustainable development goals, and they are interlinked. So we can see that, okay, both provides this long-term process towards sustainability. So this is a simple conceptual framework, and we operate under the 3 different themes, one by one. So an empirical part, theoretical part, and particularly focus on single industry, single country, and Nordic countries. Okay, so as I said that there are some desirable and undesirable outcomes. So desirable are, everyone knows that, okay, advancement, output opportunities, employment, long-term growth, so many more. So already highlighted by the literature, long list of literature. Even this is a short, even everything is not possible. So there is a long literature that talk about the positive outcome of innovation. Plus some undesirable outcomes, and that's empirical side. This is a gap. So here we have some scarcity of literature, and particularly empirical side, that how undesirable outcomes on the way we can see it. So that's the industrial waste, water solid, CO2 emission, resource depletion, and many more, electric, biodiversity loss. So these are all. So imagine that when you develop your economy from innovation, so don't expect that you will get positive outcome immediately. So there might be a dynamic link. First, you can see a kind of a non-linear pattern, maybe U-shaped, N-shaped, or inverse U-shaped, whatever. So we need to test that. So that was our idea for our empirical outcome. So they have an impact on environment. So here everyone knows this traditional concept of environmental coordinate curve. So environment and development. So when per capita income increases, environment initially that becomes more degradation, environmental degradation rises over the time, and then stage comes, it's decline. So who knows when, we don't know, but still it's a nonlinear pattern, EKC hypothesis, and well known as inverted U-shaped relationship. So that's a nonlinear pattern. So here what we did, we just replaced, because this is linked with GDP. So GDP is a broad measure, C plus I plus G or net export, whatever you can do it. But innovation is a particular one angle. So we are just focusing on this innovation side. So we replace this GDP with innovation. And then we call it technological innovation. And then we are in the process of defining these innovations. Some are efficient technological innovation, some are moderate level, some are inefficient. But there are these different layers of innovations that might have an immediate impact later on, a process, later effect, but that's what we need to test. So that we convert or we modified this EKC, environmental coordinate curve, into innovation-based environmental coordinate curve. And then we define these three different stages. Again, the basic idea is theoretical perspective is from EKC hypothesis, where we have three stages, stage 1, 2, stage 3. So stage 1 is a very premature stage. When you just buy technology and you start, and you don't expect that immediately positive outcome for that technology. So it's an adoption stage. It's a premature stage. So it might have an unfavorable outcome on environment, means degradation or CO2 emission increases. But level 2 and level 3 is very important, that we have to take care of that. So that's a stage 1, 2 is a just early development, adoption stage, not much focus on sustainability side. But as we learn, as we move on, then we learn, okay, now we need to focus on how can we protect our environment. And that's a technological advanced stage. Stage 2 and 3, that's a economy shift towards clean and efficient technologies. And that's a pure theoretical perspective. No empirical, but there's a pure theoretical perspective exists that over the time, it have a favorable outcome, but we cannot expect immediately. So that's our idea in our main project, especially in empirical part. So these are our different stages: premature stage, mature stage, and advanced stage. And that's very advanced stage. Even we achieve that second stage, that's also feasible. And then it takes time to reach further on the next level. So we cannot expect that even third stage as quickly as possible. So not possible. Okay, so based on this, we have this. I cannot present all the big project, but a small piece. Two research questions. That the first question is whether there is a significant link between technological innovation and environmental degradation. That's the first question. Right? The idea behind is the same what I presented in theoretical perspective. And second is that whether this relationship is, what kind of relationship? Is a linear, just positive sloped curve, or non-linear, means dynamic, maybe increases with decreasing rate, or decreases with increasing rate, or N-shape or U-shape, or it depends on what kind of data we have. And third is not finished yet. We are still working on that. That's a global level. And then here, disaggregated level for simple single region, some group of countries, some group of industries. They are purely practicing technological innovation, green, efficient technological innovation. So that's still work is in progress. So this empirical part, we have this data at aggregate level, is a global data, very well known. Everyone knows from macro students, especially they know this World Development Indicators data is available for globe. So we just use this as an experiment first. So we use environmental degradation, CO2 emission indicator, and GDP just to confirm whether traditional hold or not, traditional EKC holds or not. And then technological innovation, when we use both indicator patent and R&D expenditure patent from Eurostat. So because European patent are much more stronger data set, no gaps, but in WDI we have some gaps in the data. So we, as a robustness, we use both. Okay, then we have some control. So as many control we can use what is available to control the observable heterogeneity across countries. So which is over the time across the country. So that's what we use that. So that's still in the process. And that's the empirical model look like. EKC, so CO2 emission, technological innovation, innovation skill. So if this is positive and this is negative, it means first it has a positive impact, means environmental degradation increases, in the negative indicate it reduces. So if these are signs are these ones, then it is a nonlinear relationship hold according to EKC hypothesis. So that's true. Right. So what we did, we just did a simple estimation, OLS, by using fixed effect or not. That is a traditional. So we just check that whether data confirm the previous finding. Okay, yes, that holds positive, negative, and many studies highlight it. So I mentioned a couple of those. And then we augment it with innovation, technological innovation and technological innovation skill. And that also confirms a significant relationship. Initially, it hurt the environment and then it have a favorable outcome in the later on. And then we also, as a robustness, we use system GMM and also 2SLS, but we don't have results here where we use instrument variables, but that are not final shape so far. So here just system GMM results are here. So this is again traditional and that's augmented IAE, innovation with environmental goodness. So, but here it's not finished and clean because this is a globe. So we can say, okay, this is happening. And that's what the disaggregate level starts now afterward. So is the initial stage, we have done something for group of countries, high income, upper middle income, lower middle, and lower middle. So here we find very interesting finding. Okay, for high income countries, it says something. Here is a positive. For upper middle income, yes. And even here the coefficient size is stronger for upper middle income countries compared to high income because they are in a transition phase of improvement. It's not the other transition. So the other transition economies are here insignificant, significant but very minor, just 10%. And lower income countries, no result, no significance. We cannot find any significance regression results from that. So that gives us indication, okay, the level of innovation is not as much as what we can predict from the regression. So that, again, we need to know each individual country, how is the data look like, and we need to have individual level data to see the outcome on CO2 emission. But upper middle income countries behave much strongly here. This is very strong and very ideal result, what we, according to theoretical perspective, but not for all the countries. So again, we need to confirm this at individual level, and that's what we are planning to do for next talks. Plus, average effect is what we calculated, high income countries and upper middle income countries. So that's the here average effect is much stronger for upper middle income, and that is the second stage. Confirm this negative relationship because it indicates that okay, it's going down. If we look at some developed economies, so there we can see that they are going down. Even high income is also the sign is negative. LMC and lower income countries, so no effect, no significance. We cannot see it here. So that's what we have so far. And before summarizing my further policy implication, just an overlook of Scandinavia, particularly Denmark, where I am from. I'm from Pakistan, but living, working there last 20 years, about more than 20 years. So case study is as a digital infrastructure, how it looks like. So there is no doubt how much digitalization is there, high level. So if we look at the data traffic is almost double for the last 5 years, it becomes double data traffic. So megabytes per second is speed of internet. 77% use digital public service, 90% is social media, and this is also very important. 13% of these SMEs, even some public sector, at least 10 employees use robots. So it means technology is very highly usable here. Country is small but highly developed. And if we look at the data traffic, so it's continuously rising from 2018 to onward. This is the official source. This is government official source. Plus we confirm it from the private source. And then Global Innovation Index, then we can see for the last 5 years, the top 10 countries, it exists within the top 10 countries. And if we happiest countries, since 2020, it becomes number second. First is Finland. Am I right? I think Finland is number top, and then Denmark is so forth. And if we look at some other indicators, so what we do in Denmark, especially education sector, university sector, in innovation side, we have a close collaboration with local industry. Our department is business development and technology. So we have a business people, we have a technology people, means innovation people. So we, university, cooperate with industry, local SMEs, where we are located. We have surrounded by many small SMEs. So we have a close contact with them. And how do we contact? We have a bachelor student, BS honors plus master. BS honors have a final, in final years, they have a full project, and that they have to do internship with any company. So we invite companies at the department, and they just present like what we are doing here. They have the idea, they present what they need for their company. And then if some students are interested, they pick those students, they work there for a couple of months, and if they satisfy, they continue, and then they pay some stipend. And that cooperation goes on, and then innovation goes on. And that's, we get two advantages, research plus education. So education is continued, it's financed by, okay, that's the last slide, societal impact. So that's also there in the form of innovation, in the form of green innovation. So skipping some of the slides. So final conclusion, technological innovation significantly affect environmental degradation. And there is a non-linear, but we will see how it emerges over the time. And at disaggregate level, yes, high income, upper middle income, but not for lower income countries. What is next? Identifying different types of innovation. What are the types of innovation that are relevant for environment, and so on. And micro level studies are important. Policy side, adopt smart tax policies, financing, subsidizing clean, like university, industry collaboration, or other incentive for the investor who want to invest in smart technologies, and so on. Thank you. Thank you very much.
First of all, in the name of Allah, who is merciful and gracious, my name is Dr. Sajjad Hussain Qureshi. I have PhD in agriculture, PhD in computer sciences, MBA in human resource management. And currently I'm working as a Deputy Director IT in Multan Electric Power Company, Multan. I'm here to present my research on the topic, emerging role of deep learning technique in ecosystem improvement by early resistance source detection against disease and pollution control. As we know, the world population is increasing at tremendous rate, and agricultural growth is only way to meet the food requirement of our country. Cereals are important source of the food, and among the cereals, the maize is important cereal crop that is used as a food for human and feed for livestock. We are unable to get the full potential of maize cultivar due to attack of different diseases. And among the diseases, stalk rot is the most important disease that causes serious losses all over the Pakistan and even in the world. It has been estimated that stalk rot causes 10 to 20% losses in the Pakistan, which may exceed up to the 50% when there is severe attack of the disease, and it lost about $1 million in the Pakistan. Currently, in the Pakistan, the pathologist or the experienced farmer visit the field and determine the dose of fungicide that must be applied to the field in order to control the stalk rot disease. Any misjudgment by the pathologist or the experienced farmer may lead to the extra application of the fungicide that not only disturb the ecosystem, but also play an important role in environmental pollution as well. So the current situation is the need of AI-based system that provide the solution to the farmers' problems at their doorstep. CNN has shown a remarkable achievement in image-based classification problems. CNN has shown promising role in weeds identification in the field and intelligent application of weedicide to the field. It has also played an important role in locating the position of pest on the plant by applying the CNN on the drones. Consider the potential of CNN in the literature has given me motivation to go for the implementation of CNN for the plant disease identification. And I believe if CNN work well for disease or severity identification in the plant, it not only helps agriculturists to early identify the varieties against the diseases, but also help to address the issue of food security worldwide as well as environmental pollution as well. So considering the scope of the project, the following objectives are set for the studies. And the first one is to define the role of CNN in replacing the pathology in the identification of resistant and susceptible stock against stock. The second objective that is set for the study is to determine the important CNN model for early identification of the varieties against the stock rot. When we go for an image classification problem, one of the first most important subject is the preparation of the data set. As I already told you that I have PhD in agriculture. During my PhD, I screen 100 maize lines against the stalk rot, then select the susceptible and resistant line, go for their crosses, develop their F1 generation, PC1, PC2 generations, and then carry these lines to the University of Minnesota to develop the genetic images of these lines. So my sources for data set is first from the Maize and Millet Research Institution, Yusufwala, from where I develop the phenotypic images, and genetic images are developed from the University of Minnesota, USA. When we acquire the image, after the image acquisition, the next step is image pre-processing. In the image pre-processing, we crop the image in order to get the most desirable area of interest, so that the computational time for the computer can be minimized. The next step is the image segmentation. In the case of image segmentation, the data is labeled into the resistant and susceptible classes, and we divide the data into the training data set and test data set. And after that, the feature extraction, that the most important one, that the lesion area, the disease area that is utilized by the model in order to identify the particle release, and finally, the classification is performed by the model. In the case of model training, we utilize 80% of our data set for the training of the model, while 20% of the data set is remained for testing the performance of the model on unseen data set. And during the validation process, the hyperparameters were tuned in order to get the close result of predicted value of the model to the actual values. This is the conceptual diagram of image-based classification model. First, we have the stalk rot image, then it is go for the image processing. After the image processing, we go for the image segmentation. In the image segmentation, we divide the data into the trained data set and a test data set. To the training set, we go for the cross validation in order to get the most suitable parameters for the model training. And when the model is properly trained, we go for test data set. Unseen data set was given to the model in order to judge the performance of the model. As far as the result from image-based classification model are concerned, the two important things to be studied first in order to get the accuracy for the result. First one is the loss function. The second one is the accuracy of the model. Basically, the loss function describes how much difference between predicted value and actual values. If the difference is more, it means the loss is more. And if the loss is more, it means the accuracy of that model is compromised. You cannot believe on the accuracy of that model. In our case, on the phenotypic image, the loss is below 1. That is more acceptable one, and the accuracy determines the extent of closeness of value to its true value. So it means our model will give the values that is more accurate one and more equal to the actual one. Similarly, the same procedure was adopted from the genetic images, and again, our losses is less than 1. That again show that our model is trained well, and ultimately the accuracy that is gained from this model is more reliable. These are the few results that we have obtained from our model. The first one, when we go for the evaluation of some model, we evaluate it from the basis of its accuracy, its precision, recall ratio, F1 ratio. All these are performed in order to get the accuracy of the model. On the basis of phenotypic images, our model gives the 81% of the accuracy, while average of 0.831 is the precision, 0.81 is the recall ratio, and 0.81 is the F1 score. While in the case of genetic images, it gives 99% of the accuracy. That's the most reliable one. When we go for the varietal identification earlier against the diseases, our genetic images can play an important role for the disease, for varietal identification against the resistance level. So in this case, our accuracy is 99%, our precision, recall ratio, and F score all show 0.99. It means the model is more accurate on genetic images as compared to the phenotypic images. This is some of the results that we have made during the model testing. We have given the model to some images that are unseen for the model, and the model gave the most that are equal to the actual one. The predicted one, susceptible, actually is also susceptible. When we go for the genetic images, actually resistant, and predicted is also resistant. So it means the model performance is accurate, and it can be utilized for further disease identifications. During the study, it has been observed that the most important thing is the color, texture, structure of the lesion area or the area of the interest. These information can play an important role in model training and model prediction. And no doubt, as I have already told, that the model has gained much accurate in genetic images as compared to the phenotypic images. So the accuracy of the model is more as compared to other machine learning models. So we have drawn some conclusion from our study that the model has ability to replace the pathologist and has ability to identify the susceptible and resistant line against the stroke rot disease on the basis of phenotypic and genotypic images. Secondly, the most important one, that a fungicide can be reduced or intelligent application of the fungicide to the susceptible plants are applied in order to get more reliable and environmental pollution-free environment from the fungicides. And the most important with respect to the farmer point of view, that the minimization of the production cost, because when you apply the fungicide to the field without any knowledge, you can apply in large amount that not only increase the cost of production, but it also increase your environmental pollution as well. So by use of this model, we have reduced the production cost as well as environmental pollution as well. And the last one, the most important one, that we have provided the solution to the farmers' problems at their doorstep by the development of this model. As far as policy recommendations are concerned, no doubt there is a need to develop a system that is more uniform and can operate for all cash crops and has the ability not only to identify the particle disease, but also gives the remedial action for that disease as well. And the next one is the integration of CNN model with IoT and drones so that we can move toward the precision agricultures. Thanks, this is all about the presentation.
The topic I'm going to present is digital resilience, ICT as a mitigating factor against climate-induced food insecurity in Pakistan. I'm Faiza Azhar Khan and my co-authors are Dr. Saira Tufail and Qurban Tabassum. I'm thankful to the PSDE for providing us this opportunity to present the research. To begin with the background, here are the contents of my presentation. The background is that Pakistan is amongst the most vulnerable developing nation as far as the climate change is concerned, facing rising temperatures, shifting monsoon patterns, more frequent extreme weather events, and glacial melting. Global Climate Risk Index ranks Pakistan as the 5th most climate vulnerable country in the world. Given its largely agrarian economy, these climate-related challenges pose serious threats to food security, water resources, and livelihoods, particularly in rural and agricultural regions. And as far as food security is concerned, Pakistan has a ranking of 109th out of 127 in 2024 Global Hunger Index. With this background, the introduction of how we believe climate change affects food security by affecting its all 4 dimensions: availability, access, utilization, and stability. So climate change influences agricultural productivity through changes in temperature, precipitation pattern, and the frequency of extreme weather events. Climate change can exacerbate existing inequalities in the food access. Food access and utilization is affected indirectly via collateral effects on household and individual incomes. Then, climate-related health issues can impact people's ability to utilize the food they have access to. Finally, the stability part. So, the stability of food supplies is threatened by extreme weather events and disrupting the food production and supply chains. So, coming to the role of ICT, how ICT affects the food security. So, primarily it affects food availability by optimizing agriculture practices and facilitating the market access. Then for farmers, ICT tools such as mobile applications and digital platforms have been instrumental in increasing productivity, income, and resilience. And we have a COVID-19 case in front of us. Then ICT platforms like online marketplaces and mobile applications connect farmers directly to buyers, increasing their market access and income. Finally, climate-related health issues can impact people's ability to utilize. So how ICT help us in the relationship between the climate change and food security? How can it mitigates the negative impact of climate change on food security? So digital agricultural technologies improve resilience by providing farmers with timely climate data and forecast, helping them adapt to changing weather patterns. ICT enables households to stay informed about climate-related disruptions, such as extreme weather events and food shortages, allowing them to make better financial and consumption decisions. And mobile banking, digital payment systems, and fintech solutions enhance the financial resilience. And finally, ICT-based social protection programs, such as digital cash transfers and food assistance schemes, ensure that vulnerable households receive timely support in time of crisis. Given this information, the study attempts to investigate the impact of climatic factors on food security in Pakistan and to assess the role of household ICT adoption in mitigating the impact of climatic factors on food security. Finally, the analysis is done for 3 different climatic zones of Pakistan as well. Coming to the model of the study, so this is the regression model where Fs is the dependent variable, which is the food security of the ith household in the jth district, and we have taken 4 meteorological factors of the district, which are cooling degree days, heating degree days, precipitation, and the wind speed. Then we have the ICT of the household, ith household in the jth district. Then we have the interaction terms, with all the 4 meteorological factors to assess the moderating impact. And for the control variables, we have the age dependency ratio of the household, sex ratio, household size, household income, value of asset, and average education of the household. The dummy variables you can see here are for the region, rural, urban, and for the provinces. This is the detail of the data. The cooling degree days is how much cooling energy is needed, matlab how much hot weather we have. Heating degree days is how much cold weather is and how much heating we need. Precipitation is the water, whether liquid or solid, that drops from the atmosphere, and wind speed is the rate at which wind blow horizontally past a location. And all 4 data variables are taken from the NASA Power website. The rest of the data is taken from the PSLM. Food security in the PSLM is measured on a food insecurity experience scale, which ranges food security from 0 to 8. ICT is measured by households' ownership, access, and usage of computers, laptops, mobile phones, and the internet. It's a composite index based on the principal component. Then our control variables, the age dependency of the household, then sex ratio is the male to female ratio, household size is the number of people living in the house, and household income is the total income from all sources. Asset is the value of assets, and then average education is the mean number of years of formal education the household members complete. Number of households in the PSLM 1920 is 195,000. The estimation technique is OLS. And as I mentioned in objective 3, we have taken 3 climatic zones. So they are dry, temperate and continental, and the tropical. Coming to the results, these are the results. The first column refers to the national level results, and the rest 3 through the 3 different climatic zones. And as we can see in the first 4 rows, all the climatic variables have negative effect on the food security. The highest impact for the cooling degree days is for the dry region because of the high temperature and leading to water shortages affecting the crop failure. The highest impact for the heating degree days is in the tropical region because of their irregular weather patterns. Precipitation has a negative impact again in the tropical region because of the irregular rainfall patterns. And coming to the wind speed too, it also has the highest coefficient in the tropical region because of the unpredictable weather. ICT throughout has a positive and significant impact on the food security. And as far as the interaction terms are concerned, most of the interaction terms are positive, indicating that ICT has a mitigating role against climate change in impacting the food security. However, there are some negative effects also, specifically for the tropical region, indicating that ICT is not enough for the climatic effects. Coming to the control variables, dependency ratio is having a negative effect because it reduces the resources available and access to the food. Sex ratio is the male to female ratio, which has a negative impact, indicating the challenges related to gender inequality. Household size is having both the positive and somewhat negative also impact in the regression. The positive effect refers to the economies of scale, while the negative may be indicating a burden with more dependents. Household income is having positive effect on the food security, indicating the more excess related to more income. Again, same goes with the value of assets. And education also has a positive effect on household food security, not only because education increases the chances of income, but also help us making more informed decision regarding the food consumption and etc. So the dummy for the rural urban, which is D1, shows that rural areas have better food security as compared to urban because of their availability of natural resources in the rural areas. While for the provincial dummies, D2, 3 and 4, which are only present in the national results, Balochistan is the reference category, and the dummy, positive dummy, shows it's the least food secure province in Pakistan. The goodness of it can be shown by the R square and the F test. Coming to the moderating role of ICT, the pink line on the right shows how much ICT has changed the negative impact of climatic factors. Here the pink line is missing for the insignificant interaction term, because then we cannot journalize the role of ICT. So we can clearly see that ICT is reducing the negative impact of CDD and HDD at the national level. Similarly, for the dry region, for CDD and HDD, but not for the other two climatic factors. Finally, for the temperate and continental region, ICT has reducing the highest impact is for HDD, while for the tropical region, it is not having any significant effect in reducing the impact of negative impact of climate change on food security. So coming to the conclusions, climatic factors which we have taken as wind speed, precipitation and temperature changes adversely impact food security. However, through ICT, farmers are mitigating the adverse impacts of climatic unpredictability by using timely meteorological and crop management information, as is evident with positive and significant coefficients for interaction terms except for wind speed. A higher household age dependency ratio reduces food security, whereas household income, assets and education increases the food security. Rural regions in Pakistan have better food security than urban regions, and results for provincial dummies show that Balochistan's situation is worse in terms of food security in Pakistan. Meteorological factors have a negative impact on food security throughout all zones, the three which we took. However, the role of ICT varies. Tropical regions not only show a larger impact of meteorological factors on food security, but also ICT is not significantly mitigating that negative impact on the food security. So we recommend that prioritizing the expansion of ICT infrastructure, particularly in rural and vulnerable regions, to reduce the urban-rural divide, need for creating an integrated early warning systems that utilizes ICT to monitor and forecast extreme weather events, especially HDD and CDD. Climate smart agriculture should be promoted specifically to different climatic zones, and use of AI and big data to predict and plan for climate-induced shortages, and leverage the SARS or BISP network to target the vulnerable populations in case of the climate-related disasters. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you so much. My name is Issa Hamadou. I'm a PhD student in economics. This is my dissertation, one of my chapter of my PhD dissertation. So my title is about blessings or threats. I would like to assess the impact of AI innovation on climate change. So actually, the main objective of this paper is to look at how AI innovation is contributing positively or negatively to the climate change. So as we know that, in my introduction, climate change has become the most pressing environmental challenge facing humanity, and the global carbon emission is also rising. Then, countries are seeking the new way of how to cut this emission. In this light, AI is seen as a key technological means that can tackle carbon emission and promote low carbon transformation. Because AI can be used to optimize power grid and improve energy utilization efficiency, and it can also be used to reduce emission in such as transportation, agriculture, and many sectors. So one of the study revealed that AI has boosts energy efficiency by 97%. So it can give a pronounced enhancement in the integration of renewable energy. Next, please. So one of what motivates me to conduct this research is that when we look at the development of AI technology, we see that AI software are consuming energy because of the computational power, and also the data centers are also emitting. There is a lot of emission from data centers, so there is a negative impact of AI. So the development of this algorithm and hardware also, this manufacturing process of hardware like this, everything is bringing like increasing waste. So it is important to understand how this impacts our environment, especially the issue of climate change. And again, in another respect, there is even uncertainty as whether the potential of AI can be realized fully or not, because it's increasing emission and also it's increasing energy use. So is it like true that we can get the advantages of AI because of the efficiency and everything? So is it true that we can get these advantages? So in the literature also there are many contradicting findings here. In the application sectors, some of the authors agree that the AI can reduce energy consumption and also increase efficiency. But some of the authors are also arguing again that it can also increase emission because of the emission of the data centers. So in this study, what make it special, we are considering to analyze the impact of AI on the climate change empirically. So we tried also to compare developed and developing economics. Next, please. So again, from our motivation, when we look at the benefits of using AI in organization, we see that most of this is one of a survey that was conducted in 2022. So most of the companies are using AI for cost saving and efficiencies, and there are still some of companies that are using AI to reduce emission and also to reduce outage, like meanwhile the energy shortage in the industries. So this give us like the motivation. So as considering that AI is important to the organization, so how can we understand their negative impact or positive impact on our climate change? Next, please. So this research has two questions. Does AI innovation reduce greenhouse gas emission? So to what extent does AI innovation also increase renewable energy output, because AI can be used to optimize renewable energy production? So this research aim to examine the impact of AI innovation on emission and also renewable energy in developed and developing countries. Next, please. So these are the summary of the literature about AI and energy sectors. And we see here that AI is used in renewable energies in buildings to enhance efficiency, reduce energy consumption, and also in manufacturing industry, AI can reduce energy consumption by 30 to 50%. And again, in transportation, AI can be used also to reduce emission. And one more also, AI can be used in natural resources, so to manage it more efficiently and effectively. Next, please. So in the case of emission, AI also can be used to reduce emission in case of agriculture, transportation, urban planning, and energy management, and general challenges that we have in our economy. Next, please. So to achieve our objectives, we try to collect a panel data of 69 countries from 2000 to 2022. So in this table, our dependent variable is a greenhouse gas emission and renewable energy output. So our independence is AI pattern that shows how a country is innovating in AI technology. So it's defined as the number of AI patents for each country. So the control variables are here. We have GDP, FDI, population growth, R&D, renewable energy consumption. Next, please. So this is the model of our research. We have model 1 and 2, model 1 for the emission and model 2 for the energy, renewable energy. So we use fixed effects and random effect. We conducted LM tests to decide whether we use fixed effect or random effect on these models. Next, please. Okay, this is the result of our study. So first of all, AI technology is increasing emission, and it is significant. So it is 0.03. So this can be explained by the fact that although we are using AI for energy efficiency, but the data centers are emitting more, which can cause emission to the environment. To control this emission, we try to make an interaction between the renewable energy. So when the country is having more renewable energy, this positive impact will tend to be negative. So this coefficient of 0.02. So it means that having more renewable energy, or maybe using more renewable resources in the case of data centers or computational powers. So this can reduce the negative impact of AI on emission. So this is interesting because understanding this negative positive impact, understanding that AI increase emission, so it is important to control. That means to emit or maybe to promote renewable energy sources in the startup that are using AI, so that they can improve the emission. They can reduce their emission as they are using renewable energy sources. So we see here that also population growth is also statistically significant, but it's increasing the emission, as we know that more population will be also increase the emission. And what is interesting also, renewable energy consumption reduce emission. This is true. So it can reduce emission. And the next model is renewable energy output. So we see here that AI technology is positively affecting renewable energy output, because it can be used to optimize the production, to minimize the defaults, to predict the maintenance in the renewable energy sector, like in grid, in energy storage, and so on. So this is very important because it can show how innovation in AI technology can help to achieve our goals of net zero emission. Next, please. So that was just the summary of my results. So the next one, I just try to do a robustness check to compare lower middle income, upper middle income, and high income, to understand which level of the countries are having higher this one effect of AI on climate change. So, and I see that this one high income, the effect are more observed in high income than low income. As we know that the high income countries are having higher level of AI development. The adoption is very high. So low income are just catching up to the innovation. So it is they are trying to increase their production with the recent innovation, but because they have constraint of using innovation to improve their production, but with higher emission. But in high income, they don't have this constraint. So the effect of AI on reducing emission is more observed because the AI is well developed in high income countries. So similarly to renewable energy also, renewable energy also is more observed in this one in high income countries. Next, please. So without wasting time, this study examined shortly the impact of AI innovation on climate change, focusing on greenhouse gas emission and renewable energy. So we found that AI can increase green emission in high emitting industry and consumer demand, but it can also minimize emission in areas like agriculture and transportation. So AI can also help with ecological pollution reduction, early warning system, and resource management. So due to the fact that there is positive impact of AI on emission, that means AI can increase emission. So it is important to consider renewable energy sources to control this emission, to turn it from positive to negative. So it is also found in this study that AI positively impacted the renewable energy output by predicting negative effect from unexpected demand and also intermittent energy generation. Next, please. So these are the recommendations that we provide from our results. This study recommends encouraging energy efficient AI development. That means we have to use energy efficient AI tools, and we have maybe to implement also carbon pricing mechanism to tax those industries that are emitting more, so that they can regulate their emission and invest the revenue from the tax to renewable energy sources. And we have also to control data centers to make the data centers AI sustainable. And we have to also evaluate, implement AI lifecycle evaluation and also cloud computing. It is also recommends investing in AI for predictive maintenance, building smart grid infrastructure, and also like establishing regulatory sandboxes. So this can promote a cooperation between AI researchers and renewable energy companies. So there is limitation in our study. First of all, this study is only limited in 69 countries because of data availability. And most of these countries are developed countries because in developing economies, the data are very limited, and also the AI adoption rate is very low. So for the future research, it is recommended to expand the sample of the study, and also maybe to use different AI measurement, because we just use here AI pattern to reflect AI innovations. I think that's all from my side. Thank you for your attention.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to congratulate all of you for presenting wonderfully. We had 4 wonderful presentations, and now being a discussant, I would like to share few points relevant to all these 4 different papers. We can start from the last one, sir, with your permission.
Yeah, if it's okay.
Yeah, okay. So the last paper presented by Issa, the title is Blessing Our Threats, the Impact of Artificial Intelligence, Innovation and Climate, and so on. So as a summary, the paper explore It's both the positive and negative implications of the AI innovations on climate change, highlighting the trade-offs in energy, emissions, and digital governance. So when it comes to the strengths of the paper, it takes into account the dual aspects of it. That is, AI as both a solution and a risk, and it's timely and relevant. So the paper provides a wide-ranging review of literature and policy debates particularly. So what I observed as a observer, that's I couldn't see some of the important points being a rigor paper. That's the paper doesn't provide a justification to the time frame why the study takes into account 2000 as the beginning year and 2022 as the end year, and how the set of variables within the model have been selected. It doesn't provide any insights related to that. The last one is related to the policy one. I observed that some of the policy recommendations were not based on the own findings. The two important objectives for which the papers were investigated, that does AI reduce the green emissions, and to what extent the AI influence these emissions. But the most important variable, that is the AI, at least I couldn't understand that how he conceptualized and operationalized the variable as AI, as a single indicator or a set of indicators, and how it goes all the way. So some other points, like within the paper, he may give attention to improve the structural coherence by aligning each section with the main research question, and then streamline the discussion to focus on the key sector like energy, transport, and agriculture. But the most important thing is to the key variable, that is AI. Its operationalization and conceptualization is very important, and how he tried to link it with the rest of the factors. So this is all from my side on the last paper presented, sir. Should I go like this one by one? Okay. The other paper presented by Dr. Dr. Sajjad Hussain Sa, related the emerging role of the deep learning techniques in ecosystem improvement. To be very honest, I'm not an expert of that area, and it was very specialized topic. But anyhow, as a summary of the paper, the study applies the inception V3 CNN architecture to phenotypic and genotypic images to detect maize resistance against the stalk rot, which is a disease. And it demonstrates high accuracy and aims to reduce the environmental degradation by minimizing the fungicide usage. So when it comes to the strength of the paper, the technical model is well developed, clearly and accurately matrix and image processing techniques, integration of both genotypic and phenotypic data, and it's really commendable. What I observed is that probably the inclusion of more details on the representativeness and diversity of the training data will further enrich the findings of the paper. To discuss the practical challenges in deploying such kinds of model to similar other kinds of studies are also very important. And to strengthen the policy link by quantifying potential environmental benefits might be another important aspects to give due attention to all these things. Okay, so these are my points related to the second paper. The third one was, I guess, it's presented by Dr. Amjad Naveed. Okay, that's the first one. Okay, so Amjad Naveed Saab, He talked about the technological innovation in the green path to sustainability and so on. The paper, it proposes an innovation-based environmental coordinate curve to model the dynamic relationship between the technological innovation and CO2 emissions using the global panel data starting from 1980 till 2020. I observed the Sam that's probably I missed that point, that why the beginning and the end dates is like this. I couldn't see the logic provided to this one. If we have a look at the strengths of the paper, so the IEKC framework, it's a significant theoretical innovation, and the use of GMM estimators strengthen the empirical analysis and the disaggregation across the income groups, different kinds of high income, low income, middle income groups, improves the policy relevance. I observed that the paper assumes a uniform impact of the innovations across the technologies and countries without controlling for the institutional qualities or innovations type. So I also observed that probably there were no interaction terms used within the model. So the inclusion of interaction terms for governance and R&D might be a further, further enhance the strength of the model. And say if we add regional or sectoral decomposition, this will further enrich the empirical insights. So there is another thing that you find. Okay, sir. So for the LIC, I observed that there was no impact observed. So did you find any specific reason that why the TI or the TI scare didn't impact the CO2 emissions within the LIC? So that might be my question related to your paper. Probably when the question answer session starts, you may answer this question. Yes. Okay. That's all from my side for all these three papers. And there is another paper that is the last one. That is the paper presented by Dr. Faiza Azhar Khan, along with the other co-authors, Digital Resilience, ICT, and Mitigating Factor Against the Climate-Induced Food Insecurity in Pakistan. Okay, so the paper basically, it investigates how ICT adoption at the household level mitigates the negative impacts of the meteorological shocks on food security in Pakistan. Using the PSLM and the NASA climate data, it employs the econometric techniques with interaction terms across the different climate zone. So, ma'am, I found a lot of variables, setup variables along the dummies and interaction terms, altogether maybe 24. So, did you find the relevance for all these variables and its importance within the literature, or how these variables were selected and adopted within the model? I think it's one of the important questions. And when it comes to the strength of the paper, the paper makes an important empirical contribution by analyzing the food security through a climate ICT nexus. It's a novel approach in the Pakistani context, and its zone-wise disaggregation adds depth and relevance. So ICT is measured using a complex index that lacks clarity in its operationalization, once again. Also, while household level insights are strong, the causality between ICT and resilience needs more robust instrumentation. So probably you need to give a second careful look to all these aspects as well. You may give attention to clarify and disaggregate the ICT variables like separate mobile and internet and digital payments and its impact on all these the variables under consideration. So you may consider the robustness checks such as instrumental variable regression to address the endogeneity problem if there is any. And a brief discussion on the policy implementation challenge of ICT in rural area may further strengthen the paper. Um, Another thing which I observed from your presentation, that how do you theorize the relationship of ICT through food security? And if that is the case, then how OLS model is relevant in this case? So probably you may answer this question when the question answer starts. So sir, this is all from my side related to all these 4 papers.
I first of all thank you, the worthy discussant, for the valuable comments. He mentioned about the relevance of all the control variables. So for that we have mentioned different studies, household level studies on food security, which we refer to while taking all these control variables. And some theoretical explanation has also been added while presenting the model for these variables, along with the empirical justification while discussing the results. As far as the measurement of ICT variable is concerned, yes, you're right, we have considered 3 different components: the internet, mobile and laptops. Maybe all 3 can be separated also as a dimension, and see which dimension is affecting the most the food security, and we can add further clarification regarding its measurement in the paper. And that's a good idea, to use the robustness check and instrumental variable regression for the possible endogeneity. And you asked about the role of ICT. So ICT has a separate effect on food security as well as a mitigating factor to climate change. So we have used ICT itself as well as its interaction with the climatic factors in the model to capture both the effects. The 195 household data is from PSLM, having different socio-demographic characteristics. Some of these characteristics have been captured through different control variables of households taken within the model. As far as heterogeneity leading to heteroscedastis is concerned, so the model is corrected for the problem. The standard errors are robust to that problem. And the dependent variable is food security experience scale. This is the PSLM measurement of food security on a scale from 0 to 8. So this household is fully food secure in terms of its dimension of excess, utilization and stability. So that household will score an 8, and those who are not good at it, maybe 6, 5, 4, 3, any number. So it's we assumed it a quantitative range from 0 to 8, so we applied the OLS.
And the next, I think, if he's online, it's okay. If Issa is online, then any question about his presentation?
Yes.
Would you
Yes,
like
could you
to
hear my voice?
Would you like to respond on those comments being given by the discussant
Yeah, sure.
relating to your data and so on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Go ahead.
good. Yeah. Thank you so much for the comment. I really appreciate them. And for the question related to why I choose 2000 to 2022, because of the data availability, there is like too many missing values. So I try to clean the data, and I come up with a balanced panel. So for that reason, I just consider 2000 to 2022. And because of the fact that AI patents is not available for many countries, so I just come up with 69 countries. And why I choose AI patents as proxy of innovation, and because to measure innovativeness of AI, in the literature, they assume that so uh, having many patents can define that a country is innovating in AI technologies. And another question related to maybe the choose of variables. I also consider this variable based on the literature, but I didn't mention that. I will take into consideration of this. Maybe if I miss some of the question, you may remind me, because of having like technical issues here. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. And because we are short of time, so I like to request you all, if you have any question about Dr. Amjad Naveed presentation.
So my question, as you have presented as part of your presentation, the experience of Danish economy and how far they are using the ICT tools in their like businesses. So my question is, keeping into consideration the significance of this digital transformation, so what lessons we can learn from the Danish experience to begin with, like how we can, like what are the areas where we can draw some lessons to incorporate?
That was from public sector level, from government perspective. So it's an incentive. So main is incentivization. Incentive, tax reform, plus subsidize, plus public-private partnership. So starting from the one figure I showed, the broadband, the internet connectivity. So that's the fundamental tool in digitalization. So the data width becomes double every year in Denmark. So here it's, I don't know, maybe you know more than me that how is the speed, what is the megabyte per second for, how many of you or in population have access to this digitalization. So here public sector can play important role. Connectivity, e-commerce is one of the fundamental pillar that connects to the rest of the world. If the world is awaking and we are silent, then it might have problem. So that's so public-private partnership, incentive, subsidy or tax reforms. And thank you very much for nice comments. I appreciate the one you mentioned about sectoral level. And that is, I said that the work is in progress, that we are particularly focusing on SMEs in Nordic countries. So small and medium enterprises, and then these are all our sectoral: manufacturing, service sector, private, public sector. So that's what we are focusing. And then other question was interaction term. Interaction term, then we need a totally another angle of the research, because here we just use to test this environmental coordinate curve, and then we use only linear term plus square term. If we add interaction term, then we are much away from this hypothesis. So then as a separate is a good, nice suggestion. Thank you very much. Yeah, the results are insignificant because the level of innovation and technological development is not that far that have impact on innovation. So yes, that's the reason. So this is still, that's what we need to do to enhance that side. Thank you very much, and thank you for reading our paper that you spent a lot of time to discuss.
So the last is Sajjad Hussain Qureshi Saab, and any comments, any question about his presentation?
As far as training data is concerned, because when you go for the light-weighted model, there's no literature about the number of data set used for any model. You can use any model, but it depends upon the accuracy of your model. If your model accurate on less number of data set, your model is lightweighted and can easily be installed on mobile application. So this is the one of the reason that you go for less data set preparation for that one, if your model give good results. You are saying right. Again, I told you, there's no literature shows that how much data you can utilize for the training of the model. If your model is working accurate on less data set, then you can develop lightweighted model. Lightweighted model is most supported by mobile applications. So that's why I had utilized 1,000 images of each category in order to get my results.
It's okay. So thank you very much for the presenters, the discussant, Sajjad Saab, Naveed Saab, Faiza Saiba, and Dr. Zahoor Khan Saab, and as well as the Issa from Indonesia with us, and to the participant as well, and the PIDE as well, inviting us all as well. So it's thank you very much everybody to be here.